thanks, first of all, Professor Lasit for inviting me to this event. And also for the faculty for inviting me for this seminar, right? So I will briefly go through what is the journey that I have come to this way, and what I have gained, and how the project management helped me, and how that can help you to become a good project manager. Or so in terms of project manager, so sometimes we talk about just as a discipline, right? So it may be a job role. No, but we'll see, it's not just a job role. We do this every day, right? So if I start brief about me, so I completed my MBA in 2016. So I gained my BSc in computer engineering in year 2000. Actually, I did my first degree in Russian Federation in Russia from 1995 to year 2000. So year 2000 I graduated and came back to Sri Lanka after the graduation and started working. So actually I started as a lecturer, right? I started my career as a lecturer in IT. So that was the time when Bachelor of Information Technology, BIT, started, and various institutions, right? Then I joined the public sector, actually Ministry of Education, right? So Ministry of Education, I was a part of the team who introduced the IT for A-level and O-level, right? There was a team of consultants, myself and another few. So we were able to create the syllabus and introduce the O-level IT and later A-level IT, and create a national policy on IT education. So after that, I joined the University of Colombo, Faculty of Education, as a software engineer. So there I gained much experience. Actually, it was faculty's research arm. It is called NEREC. So it was the national research arm for education research. So I gained a lot of experience there by doing a lot of research. So since then, from year 2000, I have been a visiting lecturer for various institutes. Even now, I continue to be a visiting lecturer in a private university in IT. And apart from that, I was a consultant in various public and private projects, starting from ICTA at very beginning in 2002 as a consultant in the Nanasala project, and then in various private organizations as well. So founder and CEO. So I founded this company, started this company in 2009. So you might think, okay, this person has done some jobs and successfully moved to the entrepreneurship. No, there were so many failures, right? So started another 2 or 3 companies, right? It did not work out. So that's how, right? So I wanted to become a tech entrepreneur. Actually, during my studies in Russia, when I was doing my BSc in Russia, even that time I was into this. I was doing certain businesses related to IT. So that was in my blood. So I was trying to do something on my own. So Ceynocta is a software development company. So this company actually started in 2009. We started as projects. Now, if you see the evolution of the companies, now we start with projects, right? So then we go to the product development. So we started this with projects, and then we created a product, an SMS-based product for Australian company. So we continued that for about 10 years. We created an SMS engine, which will create some content. You have the backend to advertise that content, and we were going with a revenue share model. So that is a premium SMS solution. So we went with a revenue share model. So it actually earned so much of dollars to Sri Lanka for the past 10 years. So then about 2-3 years back, I was fortunate to co-found Data Intel. This is a company related to data science. Actually, there is another professor who is in University of Utah, Sri Lankan. So he was an employee of NASA. So we started this company for data science, right? Currently, we are only looking at some foreign projects, not in Sri Lanka yet. So also related to the project management, I have been the executive vice president and board director for PMI Sri Lanka chapter. So later in this presentation today, I will talk about PMI. What is PMI? So why you should join with PMI, and engage in several other private universities. So talk about my volunteer journey, right? Volunteers. So you work without getting paid, right? So it started from school. So maybe most of you, right? In the school, you work with several societies, right? Even at the university level, even we get some calls from ISEC Sri Lanka, right? So there are certain volunteer work involved even in your university. That's good. Continue, right? So soon after I came to Sri Lanka, I started volunteering in year 2000 as an alumni, right? We have a alumni association started in 1966. So the first graduates from Russia who came to Sri Lanka, right? So still I am at the moment, even I am the general secretary of that, right? With all this work, I still contribute. So then I joined Computer Society of Sri Lanka in 2005 and PMI in 2008, right? And British Computer Society Sri Lanka section, or the BCS, in 2012. So that's all about my volunteers, right? So if I talk about my professional career, I started my career as a software engineer in 2000. I mentioned you that I started with University of Ministry of Education. So at that time, even that Ministry of Education Sri Lanka did not have a website, even not a domain, right? So we bought a domain, right? It's an .org domain, paid from my credit card at that time. So there was no way to reimburse the amount at that time. So that was the first time that it happened. No internet in the Ministry of Education that time. I'm talking about year 2000, 2001. So we got the internet. Now you are today connected to the internet in all means, right? From mobile to broadband to fiber. So that time we had, maybe our senior colleagues will know that, we had this dial-up, right? You go to the internet with your phone, normal landline phone, through a fax modem, right? So the same time, you are billed for your telephone, you are billed for your internet, right? So that's how we started. So later what happened? So I started my career as a software engineer, worked there for some time in several organizations. Later, I moved to management, project management. I thought, okay, coding is good, right? But I had something in my mind, want to become an entrepreneur. So then I need to start managing, right? So later I moved to project management, right? So after working as a software engineer for about 5-6 years, moved to project management, right? So if I tell you, right, I was working until 2009. until 2009 or 8, about 8 years, until I found this company, I was working employee, of course, yeah. So during that period, I changed almost 11 to 12 jobs, not fitting. So I wanted to go on my own, right? So the foundation to there was laid with moving to the project management, right? Okay, now you think, okay, we have learned this. He's going to teach us some theories, right? No. Of course, you know these, right? Because these are theories that you know according to the project management. I hope you have gone through the project management as a discipline in the university. So it is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements, right? So this is what you have to learn. This is what you should learn during the student life, and then you apply it in practical. Not only in your career, but we do every day, we do projects, right? So I hope you know the difference between a project and a process, right? Project, it has a start date, end date, right? Budget and a scope. But it has to be end. A project has to be end. But a process will never end, right? It's a never-ending process, right? So you plan your wedding, it's a project, right? So you build a house, it's a project. So like that every day, without going into details, you are managing projects, right? So why we manage projects? So we will need variety of resources to manage project, right? We will need different people. We will be working with different ideas. So with projects, you will be able to overcome any obstacles, right? And manage this well. Not going to talk about much, right? The project life cycle. You have initiation process, planning, executing, then you have monitoring and controlling, and close. So this is what we say in theory, a project. So a project to be successful, you need to deliver as promised. That's what we say about the time, right? So if you cannot deliver a project on time, in project management, we have triple constraints, right? If you drag the time, so you need to add some cost, because all of these workers and material, everything has to be within the time. So if you have some time differences, it is impact on budget, right? So the quality, you should meet all the functions, and you should achieve the original purpose of a project, right? So when you start a project, we discuss about project charter. Sometimes in some projects we don't use this documentation. I will tell you why it is important in documentation, right? What we have lost in our history, right? So I'm going to show you certain images. So hope you know this. Pyramids of Giza, one of the mega ancient projects. We don't know, still we don't know how they built it. We are still looking at the technology behind that, right? How long did it take, right? But you know, we lost this knowledge. Constructions in ancient Sri Lanka, Anuradhapura, Polonnaru, right? Stupas. So there was a big engineering marvels behind that, but still we lost this knowledge. Why? We did not document it. Same thing happened with certain disciplines in Sri Lanka, right? Like Ayurveda, medicine. They had some scripts. Either the teacher would not pass that to the next generation, either because we had certain things, right? You have to have a son to give that. Sometimes if you have a daughter, they didn't pass that, right? Or it was something like a family secret, right? So they did not document it. So we lost this knowledge. There has been a knowledge and we lost it. One of the greatest projects, the first man in space, launched by Soviet Union in 1969, in 1960s, right? It was somewhere in 1961, right? A project, successful project. The mission Apollo by United States, the first mission on moon. Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin Aldrin. So they landed on moon, right? So well-managed project. So this is, not sure whether you identify where this is. So this is Panama Canal, right? So this was joining two seas, right? Reducing many hours of journey for ships, right? It was actually started first by French, failed, and later again restarted by US, and success. It was a success. So now the ships will not have to go through the continent, and you can pass through the Panama Canal. So there is another canal called Suez, right? Actually, Suez Canal was done by French. So this was done by Americans. So it's a mega projects, right? So when we talk about project management, so these are the mega projects. Concorde, right? It was mainly run by British Airways and Air France to reduce the flying hours from Europe to US, right? So as I can remember, normally it took about 9 to 11 hours for the flight, but with Concorde, you could fly within 3 hours, right? So it's a project. Project came up with an idea as a solution to a problem, right? And it was a success. It was running very smoothly until at a later stage, the Concorde aircrafts were failing, right? So the name Concorde and the technology is there actually. Now, it is the same company who developed the Airbus, right? Currently, Airbus is the longest running airline or the aircraft, right? So using the same technology as Concorde, but it's not a supersonic, but you have a decent speed. The Apple computer, right? Steve Jobs did a marvelous job making this company to one of the most successful companies in the world, right? They all started with a product, well-managed project, and well-managed resources, right? Martin Cooper, the person who invented this mobile phone in 1973, I think he made the first call in 1973. He was working with Motorola. Now, you might not seen these, right? So these were here in Sri Lanka in early 1990s or mid 1990s, right? So just see the size of the mobile phone and see the size what you are using today. So it was the start, right? It's a project. Prius, the first hybrid car started by Toyota, right? So when first Toyota introduced this to US, right? At that time, USA was heavily running muscle cars, which will run just 4-5 kilometers per gallon, not per liter, right? You have seen these high performing US muscle cars. But Toyota wanted to do a change. So they introduced a car with an electric motor. So you will combine that. You will run on electric and with the petrol engine. So nowadays, in these periods, in a such time that we are in such a critical situation, more than maybe hybrid, the electric cars would be a better solution for the fuel prices, right? Where is this? Dubai, right? The picture in your left hand is somewhere in 1990s and now. So this is all due to better project management, better management, right? So they have converted a desert into a well-developed country. Right? The latest one, right? It replaced the Hubble telescope, the James Webb telescope, which is already sending. Maybe you have seen in Facebook or any other media that we have received high resolution images of the space taken from the newly launched after the Hubble. So what I showed you were mega projects that were successful in the world with better project management. So there are characteristics of being a good project manager. Look at this image. You might think, it's not easy to become a project manager, right? I have to have so many skills, right? It's a multitasking personnel, right? You should have everything in you. Yes, it's not easy. It's not easy. But if you do this, there is nothing that in the world that will stop you climbing on your career ladder to the highest position. That's why we say learning the project management is just not only for your career as a project manager. I'm not going to say that do this and become project manager. No need, right? Learn the project management and that will boost your career, right? So if you think, let's say in many times, right, we have heard the term project manager, whether the organization is large or small, it is widely used by most organizations, right? To be precise and explain, project management is simply words, right? So in the IT companies, there are different projects related to software development, hardware installations, network and data management, whatever. So all these functions are really important and need extra monitoring and time, because in the 21st century, all the organizations are completely based on and backed up by IT. Right? So we all run on IT today. So project management has different techniques, methods and functions, whatever. So those are needed for every industry, and the purpose of project management in IT company is to allocate and manage resources in such a manner that is taken the organization toward its goal and success. So nowadays, competition is really tough in IT companies because every day we can see new technologies and methods different companies are bringing in, right, to bring up their ranking with the help of project management. The main task of project management is to define the goal, set the target, make strategies to achieve those goals and targets, and lastly to execute and closely monitor the work done till desired results are achieved. So IT projects are really sensitive because while introducing and implementing any new technology for the first time in the organization is very risky, right, as it can bring down the whole system. So it's really necessary that project management should be done in such a way, if any complication occurs, right, there should be a backup solution for that, right? So in this slide, you might see every dollar waste, 9.9% of every dollar is wasted due to poor project performance, right? Or the budget is lost, right? So these are statistics. So now I will talk a little bit about PMI. What are the opportunities for you and what are the available certifications that have for you? So the PMI, or we call Project Management Institute, it is the leading professional association for project management and the authority for growing global community of millions of project professionals. So maybe you have heard of CIMA, right? So they give this credentials or accreditation for accounting professionals. Like that, PMI is does the same way for project management. So if I take the PMI fact file, so the last one towards to your right is taken the statistics from 30th of June. So we have a total membership of 684,000. It is spanning in 217 territories. Countries like India, they have about 10 chapters. USA also, they have a large number of chapters. For Sri Lanka, we have one chapter, right? Small countries, we have one chapter. So if you take the statistics in the down, so I will talk about these certifications in coming slides, right? Now, 1.2 million PMP. PMP is the flagship of PMI, right? So when you start your career and if you have about 3 years of work experience after the degree, you can do the PMP, right? So at this point, you can do the CAPM. See, that is the second largest with 59,000. So agile and other things are coming after that. So this is your career path. If you have 0 to 3 years experience, you can do at the moment. I know you are, most of you are in the first few years of your or first year or second year undergraduates. So you can do the CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management. So all the other certifications will come after you gain 3 years work experience after the degree, right? So I must say that this time, more than ever, people are very much interested in doing certifications because it gives you added advantage when you apply for a job, right? If you apply for a project coordinator or any management profession, now they ask whether you have any certification from PMI, right, or any other institution related to the project management. It's not diplomas or degrees, so they ask for certifications. Why? We were discussing about lost knowledge, right, with Giza pyramids and those stupas. So in 1969, when PMI started, they gave us a strategic framework, you should document all your knowledge, whatever the lessons learned. So that's why they say, okay, whether you have gone through this formal learning, you know how to document, you know how to manage a project, right? So if you are a certified professional, the employer is satisfied with you that this person has gone through this certification. So it's not easy. He has learned all the necessary techniques and he is okay to go there, right? So that's why we always encourage you to go through these certifications. You can go to the PBA, Project Management Business Professional, right? Program Management Professional, Portfolio Management, that comes later. So at this point, as undergraduate students, I propose you to focus on CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management. That will give an added advantage when you go out of the university as a graduate, when you try to find a job, right? So the career path is well defined. You can fill the application form, then you submit it for review. So if everything is okay, PMI sends you eligible to pay. So then sometimes it's a random check. They check and they select you for audit if selected only. So this is, I must say, about only 1% of the application they select for audit. If not, you can straight away go to the exam. It's a multiple choice examination, right? So CAPM, 150 questions, 3 hours. MCQ, exam cost, if you have the PMI membership, $225, non-members, $300. The CAPM is valid for 5 years. Why? Because it's the entry level. After that, PMI encourage you to do the PMP, the flagship PMP exam. 180 questions, so it's a little bit tough than CAPM. So at the moment, you can look at the CAPM, not the PMP, Project Management Professional. So now you might think, okay, $300, it's a much, right? Of course, it's big amount, right? Currently in Sri Lanka, they only allow to pay $125 per week. But in education purposes, if you provide the invoice and all to the bank, they allow you to pay for the exam, right? So then the agile, right? So almost all the IT companies now go through the agile process, right? So there are different agile certifications available. So you can do this. That is, since you are management plus IT undergraduates, so you can think of the first certification, Disciplined Agile Scrum Master, right? So this is the basics of agile and disciplined agile toolkit. That is another way if you are more keen to explore the revenues of agile, right? The career paths where we go through here, right? It's available in this agile forum. So when you are ready with your experience of 3 years, you can go for the PMP, right? So little bit of complex process, right? But still, this is the flagship that you should do one day after you successfully fulfilled the requirements to do. What are the requirements? You need to have 3 years work experience after the degree in projects, working in projects, right? Let's say you go to a bank, you work in the counter. You're not working in a project, right? It's a process. No project involved, right? But if you are working in a software company as a whatever, right? You work in projects, so you are eligible. So think of that before selecting your employment. So the next one is ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner. So that is also available after you gain your experience. So this is about the PMP exam. So 50% of the exam content in PMP comes from agile and hybrid approach, and the predictive approach comes the remaining 50%. So these are the areas, keeping the business in mind, right? Teams, doing the work, starting the project, right? So these are the areas to follow in 2021. So PMI is constantly updating the content. Every 4 years, they have a review. They review the content and go keep up with the new one. So another one I want to emphasize is, other than PMP, there is another certification called Prince 2 that is from UK, right? Prince 2 is basically available in UK region, right? So there are differences. Actually, Prince 2 is a methodology which is process-based. PMP is knowledge-based, right? So you have to have some understanding. If you are planning to work in UK, maybe Prince 2 would help. So a small video of 4 minutes, I think I have time. Not sure whether I can. I will share the sound.
In a game, this is a good way to decide the way forward. But can you think of doing this when it comes to a career? Especially your career? Meet Arun and Vidya, both in their final year of graduation. And while they have above average marks, they aren't sure they will get placed on campus. They knew that they needed to acquire skills which demonstrated their capabilities in initiating projects, presentation and communication to be considered for a job. But the question was, how? A few months ago, Vidya came across a global certification called CAPM, a Certified Associate in Project Management from Project Management Institute, or PMI, as it is better known. CAPM is recognized across the world. Now, Vidya wasn't too sure that she wanted to be in an infrastructure company or building roads and bridges. But when she went on the internet and looked up project management, she was surprised. It was about building skills in managing all kinds of projects, from information technology to business planning, from social projects to executing large infrastructure projects. Vidya was hooked. If one could learn the principles of managing projects, it meant that she would be able to work in just about any field that caught her fancy, and her skills would be prized along with her experience. And then she learned that over 4 lakh project management vacancies would open up in the next few years. Just when she would have the perfect combination of experience and expertise. The best part was that it would not take her very long to study for the exam and get this global certification. What was even better was the cost. It was just a fraction of her college fees. So she went ahead and enrolled in an online CAPM course, though classroom training options were also available. She could learn at her pace, but she figured that it would take 3 months of preparation for the exam, which could be taken up at any pro-metric center in India. She realized that if she mastered these project management principles, she would be able to apply them throughout her life and not just in her profession. She passed and could now proudly proclaim that she was a CAPM certified professional from PMI, recognized globally. In fact, when she attended an interview later, she found that she was able to answer confidently. And soon she was into a product company with a good salary package and great prospects. Her interviewer...
Okay, that was the nutshell of creating a getting a certified, right? So I just pasted two job advertisements yesterday night from top jobs, right? They both required PMP, PMI, right, certifications. That means if you want to apply for a job, degree is must, and if you have these qualifications, it is a added advantage. So I will just briefly talk about the PMI Sri Lanka chapter, so you can join with that. PMIcolombo.org is the website, so you can join if you wish. So we do member forums every month, non-PDU events, and also there are international events. One event is happening today, and we do some CSR events. So this is the event that happens today. It's a free event, international event. If you wish, I can send you the link to join. So when you go to an interview, think of questions to ask and dress to impress, right? And prepare for the interview and bring interview material. Most importantly, research about the company and read the job description, right? So just think where we are now as a country. So we need more IT graduates to achieve the SLASCOM's vision for 2025. We need to generate 5 billion USD of revenue from IT, create 200,000 direct jobs, and establish 1,000 IT BPM startups. Are we ready? No. We need more IT graduates to fulfill this, right? So I just took some statistics. The country is ready, right? We have the infrastructure. The people are using e-commerce. After the pandemic, they are very much into the e-commerce, right? So country is ready. So we need you as university students to think of it. Now, you are IT plus management students, right? How many projects, university projects, are just giving up after you get the degree, right? So you come up with great ideas for the final year, and you don't continue it. Why don't you think of? So you have the facilities within the university, the IT and management students. So the management students can help with marketing, budgeting, and everything, combined with the IT students, right? Whatever the idea you have for the final year projects, make it a product and come up as entrepreneurs and startups. So there are so many initiatives in the country with ICTA and other organizations to help startups, right? So think about it. Try to make your final year projects into products and be industry ready, right? So apply your knowledge gained from university, gain new skills, and think globally, right? Also, before I complete this, I need to say, build your profile with new skills. Build a good LinkedIn profile. So any employer is now looking at the LinkedIn, right? Every time we get a CV, we first look at the LinkedIn profile, what he has done. Right? So that's it. I need to share with you. So open for any questions.
So when I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say when applying for a job as an intern in project management, is it worth enough to follow some short courses which are available in Coursera or edX or some other platforms?
There are certain diploma level projects and some basic projects. Since you are eligible to do the CAPM, I think better to do, because when you go to the industry, those projects, we don't know the syllabus, right? We don't know what is taught. But if it is a certification, we know, okay, this person has certified. He has gained the certain knowledge. It's okay to do that for gaining the knowledge, but I think better to go for a certification.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have another question. Can you give us some real examples according to your experience about the cost of failing some mega projects?
Classic example is Sydney Opera House. It's operational, right? Maybe you have seen the Sydney Opera House. In the field of project management, that is identified as one of the biggest failures, because it started with the plan, but they have spent about 3-4 times more than estimated budget, right? If you audit the projects in Sri Lanka, you will find more.
My final and important question is how this PMP qualifications help your own business? Does it help to reshape your business model or anything?
Yes, because within this courses, right, when you do these courses, so they give you a structured way of managing projects, right? So that we can apply into building the organization, especially building the team, right? When you are building my business, it's all about team, right? Human resource is very important. So team building, keeping them happy, right? Getting things done. So everything is, I think I gained from project management. More than that, so it's okay, that is a certification. So I think getting involved in PMI, local chapters or whatever, right, as volunteers will give you more experience. So when we build a business, what is important is that we need to build our network. So this network of local and international people will come from that. So the one which I just showed you, that today evening there is an event, international event. So normally about 1,000+ participants are there, right? So they share their LinkedIn profiles, right? So you can connect with them. So maybe there could be some opportunities, right, in terms of jobs, in terms of other projects. So networking is the key to build your business with your team. So all these are after this project management institutes and PMI certifications.
So hello everyone, I'm Savindi Fonseka, and I am a recent pass out batch, which is 2016 and 17. So currently I'm working as an associate project manager at Dialog Axiata. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Lasit sir for inviting me to this DIT Career Launchpad 2022 and even giving me this opportunity to take part to this workshop. So I would like to share my industrial experience with you guys. So where you guys can even get an understanding on how I worked as a project management intern, and even how I got the associate project management role, and even what are the tasks that I have done in separate roles in the Dialog. So before starting, I would like to say, if there is any question, please do not hesitate to ask me. So the main reason to me to choose this project management as a field for my career path is our degree, because which is business information system. Because you all know that this degree is a combination of IT and business. So which we can gain both IT and business exposure together. So I believe this our degree is a big plus point for me to choose this project management path, because to become a project manager, actually we need both IT and management exposure. I started my internship at Dialog as a project management intern in around last May 2021. So actually I was like you guys, and I don't have any experience at that time. And even I applied for this to cover my internship to fulfill our degree requirement. So when I was doing my internship, I had to work from home due to this COVID pandemic at that time. And even since you all know, the Dialog is a large scale company, and so there are many systems and technical terms as well as processes that we have to learn. So since we work from home, this was a bit of challenging experience where I had to go through, but somehow I was able to learn most of the things with the support of my supervisor. So initially in my internship, I was assigned to a supervisor who is one of a project manager in the enterprise program management office, where the Dialog is all the projects are handling in this EPMO. So where I had to assist to my supervisor for their projects in the internship period. So I got assigned initially to one program which consists of few projects and even one separate project. So if I explain that what are the tasks I have done during my internship and what are the things that I have learned in my internship was, initially I was able to learn how to manage the key stakeholders in the project, so which we called as stakeholder management. So I think this is one of the main skill that project managers should have. And another one is a communication skill, I must say, which also able to improve me during this internship. So because I say like that, because some of the tasks which I have done in my internship was handling daily meetings and even tracking and follow up in some project tasks with my project stakeholders, and even assigning these project tasks to the stakeholders were some of the tasks actually I have done, which I was able to improve my both communication skills plus the stakeholder management skills. And even basically, especially when it's come to the communication skills, when we are handling the meetings, so I think that as a project manager, we should have ability to communicate with a team in a professional manner. Plus, all the stakeholders should able to understand what the exactly project manager is trying to communicate to the team. So that's the skill we have to improve. So even the project stakeholder management, which I explained you earlier, where we should have ability to manage the stakeholders in the project and how to follow up and get those tasks done on time with the project stakeholders. So I was able to improve those skills during my internship period, actually. And even apart from that, I was assigned to do presentations and document arrangement. And even I have assigned to resolve some project blockers, which occurs time to time when we are assigned to the projects. So by the support of my supervisor. And main thing I have to highlight is that I was able to gain good practical exposure on project management tools during my internship, because mainly at Dialog, we use Jira and Confluence for project tracking and the reporting purposes nowadays. So during the internship, we had few training sessions, which was organized by Dialog for these project management tools and even new project management areas and methodologies. So actually, which will help me a lot to improve my knowledge. And even during the internship, I was assigned to both these Kanban and Scrum project, which are included in agile methodologies. So Kanban means basically it's business projects and Scrum means IT projects. So actually I was able to gain both exposure, where I learn how to handle those projects separately. And even basically those are the main tasks that I have done, I have learned and I have done during my internship. So actually I would like to give a suggestion you guys that it would be better if you can learn some these project management tools like especially Jira and Confluence, and even latest agile methodologies are there like Scrum and Kanban. So like by following some online courses like Coursera's. And even for applying, I must say that before applying for your internship, because it's good to have a good basic knowledge before you're facing for an interview, because it might be added advantage for your interviews. So even this is not only for who are willing to go in for the PM path, so even for the others who are willing to become developers and the business analysts, QAs. So knowing those project management tools and agile methodologies, which are highly recommended and using in industry, IT industry today, will be plus point when going for the internship. So actually now in a Dialog, they are normally provided 6-month internship. So based on our performance, they extend further 5 months. So altogether, I had 11-month internship in Dialog. So how I get this associate project manager role is, so based on the performance which I have done in internship period, and after even facing an interview, I got selected for this associate project manager role. So the knowledge and the hands-on experience which I gained from my internship, actually I'm happy to say that as a project manager, I have actually started this role very recently. So currently I am handling 3 projects on my own, and along with that I have assigned as a project manager in the one of the enterprise funnel team, which is run fully Scrum. So actually I'm planning to upgrade my career in this path, and I'm planning to do PMP exam certifications and some certifications which are necessary when we are going up in roles. So I think you will also can experience them once you are going to the internship and get to the job market, and you can get this experience for those examinations as well. So if I sum it up, all the internship experience which I received from Dialog was more than I expected, and I gained more than just knowledge. I gained hands-on experience on project management tools and the project management skills and how to handle different type of projects, including this project management methodology, how to work with people, stakeholder management, people management. So I was able to receive lots of knowledge. And even I must like to say that nowadays, like not like earlier days, nowadays there are plenty of opportunities in job market for this project management path. So please do apply if you're all interested on building your career path in project management side. Even if you're interested to apply in project management internship in Dialog, please check our career site. They will hire PM interns in time to time. You can refer that site as well for any job updates. That's all I have to share with you all. I hope my speech will useful. And so once again, I must thank Professor Lasit sir for giving me this opportunity, and even other lecturers as well as who are organizing this workshop. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Good morning, everyone. I guess everyone, I'm pretty sure that everyone here had a great 2 sessions from Mr. Dhammike and Ms. Savindi, and I'm actually happy to see Savindi from Dialog Axiata, because I hope that everyone knows that Axiata Digital Labs and Dialog Axiata comes under same umbrella. So I have a presentation, so I'll move on with that. So before that, I really wanted to thank Dr. Lasit Gunawardena for inviting me, and of course the organizing committee, especially Buddhimala, even though she's not here today. And I'm really glad that I happened to see the presentation from Mr. Dhammike as well, because I too gained some very useful insights from that. So let me start. If you have any questions, anything to know from me, and you can ask anytime you want. So let me share the screen. Right. So I had a very good reason to rename or name this presentation as Better Me, because when I was an undergraduate and when I was looking for internships, like I did not feel that I am truly into IT field, and I felt like I'm not like pretty suitable for the IT department, IT industry. But now it's totally the opposite, because that's why I call myself as Better Me. Compared to the compared to the mentality that I had when I was an undergraduate, and now having, let's say, some experience in the industry. So so I'm Iresha Attanayake, as you know, and you can see that what are the certifications or qualifications I do have so far. So I am project management professional that I acquired way back in 2020 December, if I remember correctly. And then I certified ITIL Foundation, and then again I had the passion to get the certification for Certified Scrum Master. So I especially mentioned those things here because I really wanted to say I will be talking about those as well, because all these certifications I got because of my passion towards the industry, and I really wanted to see myself as an IT career woman. So even before starting my project management career, I really wanted to become certified in PMP. I wanted to become a project management professional. So that's what driven me to get into the project management field and to sustain in the project management field. And if you ask the question, okay, the CSM, okay, it's into project management, and PMP also into project management, why you have certified in ITIL? It is called Information Technology Infrastructure Libraries, because as Mr. Dhammike also explained that being a project manager, you're not just doing project management. So you have to interact with all the teams, right? You name it, the senior management, like developers, quality assurance engineers, business analysis, and of course, very closely we work with support engineers. So you call it like these days, mostly that goes as DevOps engineers. So when I was working with support engineers, that was really an interesting part. Like I just really have the urge to learn and get certified in that area as well. And my company, the previous company, only for the support engineers, but I requested my general manager saying that, okay, I also need to get certified in this. So that's where in that also I had the passion. I wanted to see what is in there and what I can have after being certified on this. So that's how I became certified on ITIL. So it's just the foundation. So you have like many stages, and you can follow all those and get certified. So currently I'm working at Axiata Digital Labs. So this is a very famous and one of my bottom line, let's say, motivational phrase in my life. So it says, you lose your grip and then you slip into the masterpiece. This is from Leonard Cohen, and you can like see he's actually a song composer as well. So you can find many nice and many motivational phrases from him. So I think you can get the idea, right? Because I chose these out of many quotes. I chose this for you today, because I know when you are an undergraduate and when you are struggling to find an internship, you struggle a lot, and still you're in the stage that you have no idea that what you're good at. and what you are capable of. So I had the same period. I will be talking on those as well. So, but after your struggles, you will slip into a masterpiece. That's pretty sure that I had the same experience. But I won't say that if you're not struggling, you will not have like bigger achievements in your life. But the extent that you struggle will give the results to a greater extent. And let's talk about what I do as a project manager, because this is my career path. I started when I was struggling to like which field that I need to choose to start my internship. So I personally started as a demonstrator for the same university that you are studying in. I was an IT demonstrator at University of Jayapura, and I had the privilege to work with Dr. Lasita and all the lecturers, senior lecturers as well. Then after being there for like 1 year, I really wanted to step into the private sector. So I had the opportunity to join with Designs of Technologies Private Limited as an ERP consultant. At that time also, I had no clue that what I'm going to do or what my goal is, right? So then, based on the performance and the experience that I gained during that one year's period at Designs of Technologies, I got promoted as ERP implementation lead. So in this ERP module, as a consultant, prior my promotion, I was consulting only on the finance module because I was certified in chartered as well. I completed 2 stages. So because of that experience, they asked me they assigned me to the financial module. So then after promoting, I happened to like consult and lead the team on the whole ERP. And then that was the time that I identified myself that I'm good at people management, right? I'm proud to say that I am good at communicating. I'm good at convincing people. I'm good at like motivating people and getting things done. I had the same thought when I was following project management module at university, and the module host was Mrs. Malkanvi Jayasinghe, who was our department head at that time. So I had the passion. That's where I had the initial passion towards project management. So like with that, I identified myself as a very people's person. So I was looking into, while performing as ERP implementation lead, while gathering experience, I started applying to project management opportunities. But of course I knew that I won't be able to join another company as a project manager because I do not have required experience or the industry qualification. So luckily I happened to step into Programmers Lanka Private Limited as an associate BE and project management. That was very different because when I was in design of soft technology, that was all about local clients, I mean Sri Lankan clients. And then all of a sudden I changed into a project management role with Australian clients, right? So then I had to perform as a BA plus project manager. So there also I struggled a lot because that was a huge cultural shock plus the industrial shock that I had to add here. And to mention you that if you see an like advertisement on jobs, mostly they mention that people should be able to work with lesser supervision, right? That's 100% true, because in the industry now you don't get like 100% allocated supervisor to you, so you need to be more responsible, self-responsible and accountable when you're performing. So that was a really challenge because I couldn't like run to my supervisor and ask, how can I do these, what should I do at this moment? So I had to like self-learn. So that was a challenge. And I was there for like only 3 months because I had a very good opportunity to join Tech One Global Private Limited as a project coordinator. And that was the like turning point in my life. I am very, very grateful to even to, take the name Tech One Global. Perform as a project coordinator. I performed there like 6 months. Right after that, I got 6 to 8 months, if I remember. And I got double promoted, not because after project coordinator, mostly you go as associate project manager and then project manager, but I know that I performed well, and that was my, I was like very fortunate enough that Tech One Global is a company who recognize good talents and give like numerous opportunities, that they don't wait until it comes. That's the company promotion cycle. They just reach employees and they promote people. So I got double promoted from project coordinator to project manager. And at Tech One Global also, I was managing the Maldives cluster, all the Maldives infrastructure project and software development projects were handled by me most of the time, and a few local projects as well. And I was there, that was the longest tenure in my career. I was there for like 3 years, and I was like rewarded and I was recognized very well. I was offered with business tours because I performed well. So this is where I like recognize myself as a good project manager. So then after that, my career was totally clear that I wanted to become a project manager, then a senior project manager, then into program management level. Then in this year, last year, 2021 November, I joined Axiata Digital Labs as a project manager. So being there now, it's the 8th month, and I was assigned to a project with Dialog, and it's called Beyond Oracle. So that was the first project that I got assigned. And actually, as you know, Axiata Digital, I will talk about it like few things. And Axiata Digital Labs is it's a huge company, and this I'm really sorry that I couldn't like retrieve the latest structure of the company umbrella. This is the oldest one, and now we are here, right? So we have by the flag itself, you can identify what are the countries that we are operating in. So under the Axiata umbrella, we have like Dialog Axiata in Sri Lanka. We have some other Axiata companies in several countries, and our mother company is in Malaysia, Berhad, it's called Celcom Axiata, and we have Excel Axiata, Smart, Ruby, and Encel as well. And previously, Axiata Digital Labs mother company, or the headquarters, was like it was recognized as Dialog. So very recently, 2 to 3 months back, we like got detached from Dialog, and Dialog also treating us as a separate vendor now. So in a nutshell, Axiata Digital Lab is the digital hub for all these Axiata group companies. We serve, or we provide solutions to all these Axiata group companies. So it's huge. And so by looking at these, you can think of what are the processes, what are the technologies that we use. It's totally different. And what I was doing in Tech One Global was okay when it's coming to project management, but the technologies, processes, and the audit processes, plus we are certified in CMMI as well. So we have to adhere both ISO and CMMI as well. So it's totally different cultures and processes. So we have 150 projects completed and 1,002 plus members, and we have award-winning flagship products as well, and we operate in 7 countries. So I spoke about a few of my struggles, and so these are the like very torturing struggles that I had, understanding self and defining a goal. Even when I, got passed out from the university, I had no clue that what I'm going to do, because I hated to do a job. Even I was, telling my parents that, okay, I have no idea what to do now. I'm graduated, which field I need to go, because I was trying into banking as well. So that was a real hassle, and getting into a satisfying job, because when I joined Designs of Technologies, I was into software development as well for like first 3 months. Then it was not satisfying. I knew that it's not, this is not, giving me any pleasure or the any satisfaction here. And then the industry pressure, right? When I was in Designs of Technologies, and when I was trying to jump into project management, I knew I required much experience, paper qualifications, let's say some good network. So at that point, I did not have anything. I just had my, born talent and what I have got from my university. And frequent challenges. So in the IT industry, it's not like, you flow like easily. It's daily challenges. Even you excel in your career, you think, okay, I know everything about project management. I can handle whatever the project that I'm being assigned. It's not that. Every day is a challenge. Even a meeting, even getting ready to a meeting, because as project managements, we do have management meetings a lot. So even being prepared to all those were a challenge. So sometimes I felt like, okay, now I need to quit the industry. Now I need to quit as a project management. So that thought was also there. So these are the challenges that hassles that I had. And then after all those struggles, after not giving up, I was able to, achieve many stuff. And you can see the count here, what are the number of hassles that I had and number of achievements that I received. So I was able to work with good companies full of growth opportunities. This is very crucial to, get into the industry. And of course, rather than that, sustain in the industry. If you find a bad company who's not valuing you or giving you opportunities, plus most importantly, you need to find a good mentor or a supervisor. Whoever played the role as a supervisor in my careers in all the companies that I worked, they were like gods for me. So I had, you are also responsible to maintain a good PR, personal relationship, personal and professional relationships with your mentors. I'm not saying that you need to exactly follow their footsteps, right? You need to you should try to change the status quo. If you are doing any mistakes, you should be able to speak up, but in a very constructive way, that you're not arguing, right? I also did the same mistake, that if I find that, okay, this process is not good enough to deliver this project, I used to argue, right? But it's not the way. You need to be go with facts and figures and numbers. So that's very crucial. And emerging role models, this comes as you definitely, I'm not saying that you definitely have a career a person from the industry itself. You may have let's take actors, actresses, sportsmen, and you maybe your parents, siblings, any person that you meet in your life, but you definitely should have a role model or a motivational figure. So for me, it's I guess you will not even believe that my motivational figure or my motivational figure is a sports person. So by looking at their stories, the videos, every day I watch it. When I'm stressed, when I feel I don't feel starting work today, I don't feel achieving or going for another certification, I go and watch all those videos. And so those are really motivating. So driven by passion. Never jump into IT industry if you don't have the passion. And I know, being an undergraduate at the university, I think Savindi also said the same. So just to cover your internship, some people tend to, most of the people tend to go into IT internships. don't do that. If you don't have the passion, you will definitely stress out in the IT field, especially as a project manager, because being a project manager, you're just not, looking after and managing your scope. You need to like take care of your developers, business analyses, senior management, your clients, and every aspect you need to manage. So it is really, really stressful. But if you have the passion, if you your perception matters there, right? If you look at those as like, these are like stress factors, that's not going to happen. So you need to love all this. Okay, great, I have a management meeting today, I need to present this presentation very well. Like that way, you need to perceive everything and have dream and targets. Getting certified and getting into good companies and performing as a project manager was one of the biggest dreams in my life. That's why I achieved it. And you need to have qualifications as well, as Mr. Dhammike explained, PMP qualifications, CAPM, and qualifications really matter when you're applying, right? But after getting into the company, you can perform. That's where they see the performance. But during an interview, from whatever you talk in the interview, they can't just really measure your performance. So qualification matters to get into a job, and your performance really matters to sustain in the company and the industry. And recognition, rewards, as I said, I'm really, really grateful for all the companies that I worked in, because I had the recognition from everywhere. Even in Axiata Digital Labs, it's just been 8 months, and I am being now assigned to a Malaysian project. It's a huge one because I performed well. So I'm so happy about that, and we'll be traveling to Malaysia as well. And expanded industry network. This is what this was highlighted by very experienced person, Mr. Dhammike, as well. You need to have the industry network and go with a LinkedIn profile, have a superb LinkedIn profile. And now you will experience, when I was in internship and when we are in the struggling period of the industry, you apply for jobs, right? But now I never applied for jobs, but through LinkedIn, we are being headhunted from headhunters. So that's the strength or the biggest advantage of having a strong LinkedIn profile. And you have like, don't spend time in FB, just scroll through LinkedIn. You will find the motivation that you require, and you will find very valuable information there, and you will see where our country is and where the IT field is about to go. And the feeling of accomplishment is really a thing, and you will definitely experience it, and it motivates you as well. When you feel like even a good comment from your supervisor or the senior management, let's say, Iresha, that was a good job, and if your team is well-mannered and well-performing, it's a feeling of accomplishment that gives you a lot. All right, so since I'm running out of time, I'll just say what is expected in the industry. When I was doing interview, because we do interview like BAs, PMs in my scope, not developers though. So we need to see that you have fundamentals, right? Let's say if you are going into a BA, you need to be research on who is a BA and what they need to do in the industry. So you should have fundamentals, and most importantly, the attitude. The younger generation who is joining the industry, even in Axiata Digital Labs, we see like they don't like to learn, right? When we do not assign tasks right after they join, we ask them to go to all the training sessions, knowledge transfer sessions, we call it KTs, and they like hesitate, right? They just need to complete the internship, like they want to run in the 6 months and get the permanent position and earn higher salaries. That's the mentality they have now, but that shouldn't be the case. You should have the learning attitude, and you should have the professional attitude in the industry, and we are really serious on this attitude. Even they are performing well, if their attitude is not good, actually we do not ask them, we do not retain them in our company. and give and takes. You cannot expect anything from the company if you are not giving them your 100. So you need to perform well, you need to give your sometimes 100 and above to take. So it's in the industry, it's all about giving and taking, and self-responsibility and accountability and lesser supervision that I explained earlier. So we are not 100% allocating any supervisors. Even me being a project manager, if an intern joins, she or he can ask me things, but I cannot sit beside him or her and teach everything, every process and everything. It should come from you as well. And we really love out of the box thinkers who challenge the processes, who find glitches in current processes. So we really welcome. And challenging the status quo, same thing. And gratitude, be grateful. Like I have seen even in my teams, there were sort of people who says okay, ADL is too much in the processes, we have no time, we just follow processes, we just prepare documents. So that shouldn't be the case. So we measure people, we feel okay, he or she is not grateful enough for the company or the processes. So be grateful for the company that you are working, because you're earning from that, you are learning from that. And the professional etiquette, this is really crucial, because even the experienced people like us, sometimes we argue with staff, we argue, and we sometimes we want to see we win, right? When someone else is winning an argument, we take it very personal. The very next day they are not even talking to me. Even let's say we take the scrum in the morning. Scrum is the daily meeting that we take with the project team. And if I say, okay, why you did not complete this, you had 4 hours to complete this, but still you haven't completed this, and they give some sort of answer, but the very next day they don't even talk to me properly. So that means they're taking things personally. So that is really irrelevant. So always we measure people with the professional etiquette. So I guess no need to explain these, as Mr. Dhammike also explained what is project management. So I will say who is a solid project manager? Project manager is a person who is responsible for delivering a project or achieving project objectives with a defined cost, scope, and time. These are the typical constraints that definitely we have to manage cost, scope, and the time constraint. You're not a good project manager, or you're not properly managing a project if you're overrunning the cost and your scope is grown up, and the time is suppose that you were supposed to deliver your project in April, but because of your poor management you are delivering in August. So that shouldn't happen. And these are the talent triangle. When it's coming to a project manager, you should be it's not qualitative role, right? You should be sound enough in technical project management and leadership plus strategic and business management. You should have the business in your mind. You should have the leadership qualities. Plus you should be sound in technical aspects of everything as well. And you can, take a self-measurement to see whether you are a good PM or not, because as I said, 90% of our job role is on communication skills. If you are not bridging up the parties, let's say client and the internal team, if you are not bridging all the requirements that the purpose or the goals of the project, it's an utter failure. And attention to detail, right? Let's say someone from the development team and comes and say, Iresha, I couldn't deliver this because I had this technical problem. I say, okay, no worries. If you had an issue, let's try to get it done. But there might be another hidden reason why he couldn't deliver it or develop the module, let's say. So you need to be have the attention to detail. You need to go with 5 whys. Why you couldn't do it? What was the technical issue? Why you didn't seek for help? So that attitude you should have, and best at decision making. So everyone in the team comes to you. You are the you're the guardian of your team when you're a PM. So everyone comes with their issues, maybe sometimes personal issues, sometimes most of the time project related issues. So you should make a decision. If you are not unable to make a decision at your level, you need to escalate. That's called better escalation. You should have. So industrial qualifications, of course, you need to have, and ready for challenges, consistency. As a PM, you need to you can't be shouting to all your team members, and you should take one at a time, and you should be consistent throughout your career and deal with all levels of people with different talents, attitudes. That's what I say. You need to work with your maintain two personalities. When you're dealing with your ground level team members, you cannot be too bossy, and when you're working with your senior management, you need to maintain another character, right? So it's different. And empathy, you should definitely have the empathy towards all the stakeholders that you are working with. Let's say most of the time now, the team that I'm working with all are married and they have very strong personal lives. So sometimes I really need a report at the moment to submit to management, but they say, Iresha, I cannot complete this. Give me 2 hours. I need to take my child to the hospital. So at that time, you can't be a roaring tiger. You cannot, jump into them and say, no, you can't go now. You need to finish this and give it to me. So you need to have compassion and empathy as well, and as well as to deliver your stuff. And focus definitely should be there when you're planning. Planning is very essential for a project, for a successful project, and take much as time for we take most of the biggest portion of the project timeline to plan and to monitor as well, and go with 5 Whys. This doesn't go only with IT field, but when you're living your life, just ask why. Then you will have the ultimate root cause of a problem. Then you will be treating the actual root problem, not the surface level issues. And ongoing, pragmatic and optimistic. There are some PMs that most interns that told me that they think Axiata Digital Labs have evil PMs, but it's not the case. We are fun-loving, we are pragmatic, we give chances, and we understand we understand delays, and we are supportive. Not that PMs are very bad. And be a cheerleader. If you see that people are performing well, they are delivering what they are being asked, just give them the compliment, okay team, well done today, nice work. We'll keep up the momentum like that. You need to be a cheerleader as a PM. And getting into the IT field as a PM is not enough, but you need to sustain. Otherwise, you will be there as a PM for 1 to 2 years, 3 years maybe, and you will seek another job opportunities. And be passionate enough, have good circles. That means, I know, being undergraduate, I had thousands of friends from all the batches. But when you're growing up, we have chosen what you are capable of and what you're into. Go with only good circles, right? Have good circles with good industry professionals, your lecturers who have good networks in the industry. You have to do it. And the mentorship, maintain a healthy life. This is very crucial. Don't ever grant your life or your health to anything, right? So don't get stressed. Eat healthy. This is not only eating healthy food, and be healthy as well. Be with the environment, be a tree hugger, right? So most of the time when I'm stressed, if I have in between meetings, if I have 5 minutes, I just stop all the work. I will not look at the laptop, and I just go to the garden and take a walk around. So that really helps. So just don't sit in front of the laptop 8 to 5 or whatever the duration. And eat healthy. That's we promote in Axiata as well. We have ADL RU sessions as well, because they know that it's being a healthy person is very crucial to be a good professional. Trust your timing and be grateful for who you are, what you have. Don't think okay, my friend is in this company. Look at him or look at her. She got a good internship opportunity, but I am not getting it. But don't do it. I had the same feeling because all my sisters, all my friends got into the internship really, really, really earlier than me. I think I was the last 2 members to get into an internship. So trust your timing. Everything takes time and you will have the best. Have the eager to learn. Still we are learning. Let me tell you something, when we are in management meetings or whatever the meetings, if I hear a new word, new technical term, I just Google it. And then the second day I can't say that I don't know that word, right? Because I know. So that's how we learn it. Simple things. Be close to your loved ones. Don't ever like go to your mom and say, Mom, don't disturb me today. I have like couple of thousands of meetings, so don't disturb me. So don't do that, because that really requires to balance your mentality and your physical hormones as well. You need to maintain those two. Never regret or grieve on your past. I think you understand it. Don't ever think that I could have done another job rather being in this job. Don't ever think that. Everything gives you a lesson. Everything counts in when you're achieving your goals, and give your 100% and more. That's where I receive. This is very proven fact for me, because I always gave my 100 and more. I never thought that, okay, this is only my scope, I will just do this presentation and wipe off my hands. But I never did that. Even after the presentation, I go and ask from the management, were there any issues in the presentation? You feel like I need to improve more. So those questions I do ask. So give your 100% and more every time. Definitely you will have opportunities and be your own brand, right? Because at Tech One, when I had this brand, because whenever the management felt like this is a very difficult project, let's put in Iresha, right? So those are the simplest things that I achieved. So be your own brand. And those are the things that I experienced. These are not only like facts that I got from internet or whatever, these are my true experiences. These are well proven, so you can try them. And this is my LinkedIn profile URL, let's say. You can follow me, and please, even today itself, if you can just get into LinkedIn, create a profile. And I do have lots of interns from private. I haven't seen many people from public government universities, but from private university. So they send requests, they ask, Iresha, hi, how can I apply for PM? What are the prerequisites that I need to have to follow PMP? So they are very enthusiastic about, following courses and all. So if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer. Hope no one has any questions.
So I'll just interrupt while everyone's preparing to ask questions. So I think thank you, Savindi and Iresha, for sharing your thoughts. So I just one question for Iresha. So you mentioned your internship. Now I think in the case of Savindi, she progressed on the same company from internship to the career. So now when you selected your internship, Iresha, like I think you mentioned that you were one of the last two, but you moved can you, like, you went to one domain, right?
Yeah.
And that was, maybe you could just share how you selected that. And now sometimes what I'm trying to see is, I think you already emphasized this, but sometimes the major issue that I find is now the current batch over here, they have certain apprehensions, like a concern oh, is this the suited internship? Like, so maybe how did you select? But of course, now you have moved on to something else, I believe. Can you just share some thoughts?
Yeah, Dr. Lasit, actually, when I was when the struggling period that I mentioned, I never thought that I will, I will get anything from the degree that I wanted to, for the place that I wanted to go. But trust me, the title comes with the University of Sri Jayawardenepura Management plus IT. It works like it works like wonders, right? When I was facing interviews, most of the time they had interviewed like more technical people from University of Moratu and UCIC and all sort of universities, but they really, especially I'm talking especially towards project management. So since we have the management plus IT exposure, that was a really, awesome opportunity. And they really treat the name of University of Sri Jayawardenepura in the industry. And even in Axiata Digital Labs, most of the, like 98% of employees are from Moratuwa Telecommunications. As far as I know, I'm the only graduate from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura. So that's how University of Sri Jayawardenepura BSc Information Systems special degree works in the industry. That's you guys are really lucky. I'm saying that because management plus IT is really trending in the industry now. At that time, when I was, looking for internship opportunities, I never thought that, because I did not have the experience and I did not get that feedback from my seniors as well, because most of the people were into other fields as well. But when I was, I firstly interned at Bank of Ceylon as the assistant. I don't remember the name, but I was into that. And then I demonstrated. And then when I joined, I really thought that I need to really work out what I learned. And I need to see whether they are really working in the practical IT environment. Then once I stepped into designs of technologies, my very first private sector job, the degree and what I learned from there, the final year project that we did, the actual hand-on experience on coding really worked, because we are talented in multiple disciplines, right? We cover development module as well, and PM, BA, and I don't even remember what other modules that we did, but that really works. More than other management graduates, more than pure IT graduates, we are really lucky that we have this mixture of modules in the information system special degree. So take the fullest advantage, utilize it to the fullest, because you have like enormous opportunities in the industry. And don't hassle, please do not waste your at least even a month being in other banking or financial or whatever, but have the advantage of being a BSc Information Systems graduate. Just right away, maybe after your passing out, but take the most advantage out of your internship. Just go for IT industry, so that will also count for your IT profile. So don't ever waste it. Dr. Lasit, I guess I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you, Iresha. Yeah.
Excuse me. I have one question. It's like most of the time PM requires experience. Most of the people are starting their career as a BO developer or some other field, and then they shift into PM. So how this works?
Yeah, Pasita, that's a very good question. As Mr. Dhammike proceed in his career, I'm coming from a background with BA, right? So being a project manager does not, limit you that you especially need to, you definitely need to start your career as a PA coordinator, then associate and all those stuff. But there are like more technical PMs because there are like two types in the industry, technical project managers and project managers. So most of the QAs, quality assurance engineers and developers who used to be developers, they come to the project management position, they feel as strong technical project managers. But most of the time, they can handle a lot, right? Because they are coming from a technical background. They know how databases work, they know how APIs work, they know how domains work. So that's a really strong foundation to become and perform as a PM. So that doesn't, that should not be a concern. So you can be a developer, you can be a quality assurance engineer, get the exposure, get the experience, get to see how projects work. But from start to end, right? It's a whole process, a nice process. Just see how projects start and how it goes through their phases and how it gets in. So having a technical background is really, really good because you can sustain, you can manage developers as well, because most of the time developers, they are very technical, hard to manage, right? They hate documenting stuff. Even when I ask, okay, passing to go and log your time for the particular task, they don't even do it. But being a project manager coming from the development side or a QA side, there's no restraints, right? You can become a PM whatever the field you're in. So that isn't counted.